And what do we have here? We have Kapow. Wise Wizard game. Played it a year and a half ago at Gen Con. And been sitting on the wall. Time to open it. Let's do it. Alright. By Doug Hetrick, Larry Bogucki, Carl Van Ostrand, and Rob Daugherty, the owner of Wise Wizard. 6 characters. Nice looking characters. And the back. The fate of the city is in your hands. Grab your dice and get ready to battle. Kapow's buildable dice allow you to add and remove dice faces, making for a super strategic dice battling experience. With each roll, you decide how to attack, defend, and power up your character by choosing where to place your dice. Battles get more explosive as you gain more dice and dice faces. Kapow is easy to learn, but has layers of strategy as you customize your dice pool and leverage unique character powers. Will you play as one of the heroes, the Rampant Spore, Telekinetic Mindset, or Sonic Crescendo, or as one of the villains, the Radioactive 235, Explosive Fuse, or Deafening Reverb? Combined with any other Kapow set, like Kapow Volume 1, for team play 2v2. Single player game that encouraged me to go ahead and get it more. But contents inside: 2 player screens, 2 player boards, 6 character boards, 2 health dials, 26 dice, 52 dice faces, 11 punch outs, 8 team up cards, and a rule book. 2022 Wise Wizard games. This game came out before it was printed through Wise Wizard, but Wise Wizard picked it up too. And surprisingly, this one hasn't gotten all the fanfare. I guess because so many games have come out. So many games come out nowadays. But I liked it a bunch though. Rule book. The shield shows you all your actions. Quick reference to faces. Kind of reminds me of Dice Masters, but you can pop the faces of the dice off. Trait die are the colored ones. The action die are the black die. 9 wild face. Any face is wild, so it's got the rainbow on it. But any face. Matched pairs. Any 2 dice showing matching faces. For example, blank and blank. Or might equals might. Or wild equals anything. Alright. Any die trait or action matching the face of an action die. Any action die equals any action die. Any two action dice showing matching faces. Any die, trait, or action matching the face or action die. The action die must not be showing a blank face. Non-blank action die. Any 2 action die showing matching faces. No blank faces allowed. Winning. Once a player's health is 0, they are knocked out and the game ends immediately. The last player standing wins. This occurs even if the health would have been gained later in the round. Dice requirements. Phases, I'll go over that in a second. Second mat. I guess these are team up mats, maybe? No, these are just showing what all moves a character has. Special issues, so it begins, hero, villain. I guess this is for the team up gameplay, I'm thinking. First player. Or maybe just chits to show different status conditions, entangle. Spores mat, 235s mat, mindsets mat, fuses mat, crescendo, I like crescendo, and reverbs mat. Okay, so there are some cards. Okay, but that's just for team up though. I really wanted to include this in my top 100 dueling card games list. Check those out. But the game doesn't really do cards, but I see the team up does do cards. But the base game is just all dice rolling. Hey, they already constructed the health trackers. I liked it. But this is for the team up, or nah, this is just for any one player. Heroes and villains, or heroes and villains, one of them. Dice faces, and the action dice faces that you can put on. I'll move this out the way. Read the book a little bit. Well, first let's do phase 1, ability selection. Behind their screens, players roll all of their dice. Players place their dice on their boards, and then immediate effects like time jump are announced and applied as dice are placed. Phase 2, attack and defend. Players remove their screens. In turn order, each player attacks to calculate total attacks and total defense. Single base plus kickers times multiplier. When you are attacked, collect any defense bonuses, faces. Then if the attack exceeds your defense, you lose health equal to the difference. In turn order, anyone who was not attacked defends themselves, gaining any faces. Whoever has the highest defense gains the first player token. If tied, the token player does not move. Phase 3, power up and after power up. In turn order, each player applies their power up abilities, collecting dice and faces as appropriate. In turn order, each player applies their after power up abilities. Phase 4, cleanup. All players simultaneously clear all their dice from their boards. Players may attach and reattach their dice faces, and then turn order starting with whoever has the first player token. Alright, so trait anatomy. Red, no blanks. Red dice, I believe, no blank. Yellow dice, because that's the trait dice. Yellow dice, 1 blank, 3 strength, 1 lightning bolt, 1 fist. Purple die, 3 sealed. Green die, 3 flying. Blue die, 3 atomic, and 1 of the other things, and some blanks. Alright, good stuff. Alright, and let's look at the book for a second. Player shield. Okay, so player 1 area, you'll have your shield. Your character board on the right. Okay, so this is the shield. Shield's like that. And then you'll have a hero or villain board. So like if you're the hero, so it'll look like that. Alright, game setup. Overview setup. Each player has 20 health on the tracker, and each player gets 5 trait dice. 25 trait dice, 1 of each color. Each player gets a black action dice with the wild white face attached to it. Give the first player token to a player at random. If both players have played before, each player gets a character board. Each player sets their health tracker. Each player gets dice and faces. Give the first player token to the character with the lowest health. Character board, round overview, ability selection, simultaneous. Okay, so yeah, so you pick abilities that you want to gain. Just read about that. Okay, players put up their screens, then simultaneously roll all of their dice, including action dice with no phases. Then they may use their dice to select abilities on their player boards. Use their dice to select abilities on their player boards. Some abilities require no dice and will be applied every round for free. Most abilities require one or more dice to be indicated in the box on their left. In order to select these abilities, place the correct number and types of dice in the box. Each round, selected abilities and those that require no dice will trigger once the time indicated. Once at the time, trigger once at the time indicated. If you use immediate ability, you must announce it and trigger it right away. Applying its effects while your screen is still up. When you trigger those abilities immediate, you can't move any dice placed on them, nor use the ability to re-roll those dice for the rest of this phase. And then attack and defend. Power up. In turn order, starting with the first player and proceeding clockwise, each player triggers their power up during the power up abilities. Whenever you gain dice or faces, add them to your pool. After power up, clean up. Let's go to the solo rules. Alright, in solo rules, you play the game by yourself against an automated opponent, AI for short. We recommend playing standard 1v1 with character boards first, unless otherwise specified. Normal 1v1 rules apply. Set up the game as normal with the character boards for yourself and the AI, except they don't get a player screen or player board. After you set up the AI's health and starting dice, flip the character board over to its solo side. Solo sides. Spore. Don't see a solo side. I guess this is the solo side. I'm sure it'll tell me. Play the game as normal, except phase 1 is split into 2 steps. First, the player rolls and selects their abilities. Then the AI does so separately. The AI selects their abilities as follows. The AI selects the highest ability on their character board that they are able to. Placing dice is required. If the ability dice box has fill any number, they fill as many sections as they can. Then repeat this process for the second ability and so. And after I've been so rudely interrupted, continue this out. Alright, the AI places the least number of wilds required to select an ability. The AI places the least number of action dice to select an ability. Some abilities list multiple potential effects depending on the type of dice used to select them. The AI selects the highest effect that it can from these abilities from the list. Note, they will select a lower effect if it requires fewer wilds or action dice. If wilds are placed in all spaces, use the highest effect. If wilds are placed in all spaces, use the highest effect. When the AI ability simply says to attack, trait dice, etc., these resources are gained by the AI. The AI does not have bases, kickers, or multipliers. The AI gains their dice and faces during power up and not during defense, unless otherwise stated. When the AI must choose a type of dice or face, randomize which type they choose. This applies when they gain dice and faces. But also when using the player board ability adapt against them. To randomize their choice, you may put one of each available type in a box top, then without looking, swirl them around and draw one at random. Alternatively, you may attach one of each face to an action die and roll it to determine the AI choice. The die is removed from the general pool and can't be acquired on an invalid roll. If something is run out, then roll again. During cleanup, the AI attaches as many faces as they can from their pool. They fill their action dice one at a time, and they always attach wilds first. The player chooses the order in which the non-wild faces are attached. The AI does not rearrange faces. Dice placement example. And yeah, that's all they wrote for that. Alright, I'll try to make sense of this. But alright, yeah, that's been that. And hopefully I'll get this played solo before long. Boyo Games, like, comment, subscribe. Spark.